What's good people? Welcome to Whole You. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey, and today we're going to be talking about The Flash, and this is the spoiler review, right? So just finished wrapping up the non-spoiler video talking about the movie in code, but here we're going to talk about the movie in great detail. I'm going to go through all the same points. I'm going to break down what I mean when I say what I'm saying, and we're going to get into all kinds of different stuff, like the marketing of the movie long before the movie came out, because this was my most anticipated movie out of strictly morbid curiosity. I wanted to see how in the hell you market this thing with a actor, a centerpiece that is damaged goods, as damaged as Ezra Miller is, and it has been proven that he is based on that feedback that they got after he did the premiere appearance. Like, all the commentary I saw was horrible. We're gonna get into that and how they market this thing, and we're also going to get into all the little cameos and things that happened that were very cool and would probably up people's excitement for a movie that I feel is actually just average. It's a good little fun movie. It's nothing amazing though. Let's go ahead and start with the categories of the visuals. So in the non-spoiler, I say that the visuals, you have good performances, but you have trash CGI. Listen, Ezra Miller's great. Ezra Miller does great as both the Flash and the younger non-Flash version of himself. Is very good on screen as Barry. I like Barry's dad, even though I wish they could have kept Billy Crudup, but seeing what that actor had to do in place of Billy Crudup, you really don't need Billy Crudup. Like, that dude is a phenomenal actor. No offense to the guy who actually played Barry's dad in this film, but I like continuity, and I would have liked to see him come back. It would have been incredibly heartfelt to see him fulfill that role, because he had an important place. It would have been dope. It would have been fire. You have Michael Keaton's Batman, who's relatively heavy in here. I like his role. I like his performance. He's kind of kooky in his introduction, and then he's real grounded as Batman. You have Ben Affleck, who's, I don't know what they directed both Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton to do in this, but based on their voices, I could have swore that they used Kevin Conroy's voice when he had the cowl on occasion. Really, it was over the comms when they would do the little comm thing and they talking to each other. It really sounded like Kevin Conroy just a few times. Like, I think in the very opening of the film, when the first action scene happens, Alfred patches in Bruce, and it's Ben Affleck's Bruce, and he's like, "I need you here now, Barry." I was like, man, that sounds like Kevin Conroy. That does not sound like Ben Affleck. But moving forward, you have good performance from Michael Keaton. You have good performance from Sasha Calle, I think her name is, the Supergirl. She's very small in the movie. You would think she's much bigger based on the marketing, but she has a very small role to play. It's cool. It's mainly the Ezra Miller show, and that's the good part of the visuals category. The bad part of the visuals category is the CGI. Ant-Man is the most recent movie I've watched that caught the most hell behind its CGI. Ant-Man CGI was inexcusable, specifically when we looked at MODOK. MODOK looked horrible. He looked really bad. And it was also very bad because most of that movie took place in the quantum realm, and it's nothing but green screen all over the place, and it's just looking like I think it's, what is it, back in the day you used to play music on your Windows desktop, and it would do the thing with the thing. If I can find it, I'm gonna put it in here. But that's what it looked like in the background. Just colors playing on the screen in the background, and that's what Ant-Man looked like. Here you don't have that so much. When Barry runs, it's amazing. It's great. The gracefulness that he moves with as he moves through the Speed Force. The way they chose to show the quote unquote worlds of DC, as Barry would run through time and he would be on this little track of a bubble, and you could see all the worlds of DC around him, and there's other universes. That stuff was cool. That wasn't the bad part. The bad part was the spot CGI. So in the opening action scene, there are babies that fall out of a building. If y'all can't make the babies look better, why put the babies in there? You don't have to, we know he's the Flash. We know he can slow down time. He can catch everything and do everything. But you don't need to show us these horrible looking CGI monstrosity babies. These babies look bad. It looked real bad. And that was very early in the beginning. And I thought, okay, well, maybe that's the only time we're going to see that. No. We see it again and again in certain sequences. People's faces look like PS4 Pro graphics. What are we doing? You get the cameo of Nick Cage, Superman. And it's like, okay, they're doing Nick Cage Superman. I actually remember the comic where he's fighting these big bugs. I think my dad has it. I wish I would have kept all those. I would have ran through the racks and pulled that out. But I don't have it. When I think about it though, I'm like, oh, that's cool that they're going to include the Nick Cage Superman. Then you see his face. It's like, did they actually call Nick Cage for this? Or did they just say, computer, generate us a Nick Cage? Look at these old test camera images that we had of Nicolas Cage in the suit and then recreated for this, I don't know, 30 seconds of screen time. If that's what y'all did, that's trash. I didn't like it. You have Christopher Reeves and Helen Slater. They show up as the Superman and Supergirl from the 70s and 80s. And when they show up, this is clearly just straight computer generated people. And it looks bad. It looks horrible. I think this is trash, in my opinion. You have the worlds colliding and you got like this opening that's just happening in the background, kind of reminiscent of Multiverse of Madness? Nah, I think it's kind of reminiscent of No Way Home, maybe, where like the sky's opening and there's a rift and there's like beings coming through the rift, or you could see other parts of reality through the rift. I ain't really like it. I ain't really like it at all. I think it looks bad. It looks pretty trash. Even during like this third act battle where you have the Kryptonians and they have the two Flashes, a lot of that stuff was just like, I don't know, man. A lot of this looks like it's just regular old PlayStation commercial. Like, it's not good. It's not good at all. And that's why I'm so hard on the movie in general, because a lot of these comic book properties get crap because they don't look good, or it's so much green screen. And it's like, there's only so much limits that you can push all these things to. But in this case, I think they could have pushed it just a little bit further to get a better looking image than what they got in some of these places, specifically with the babies that turned me off early, as well as with Nick Cage and a few other faces that you see flash towards you in the end. Like, it just didn't hit right to me. Since I was talking cameos, I might as well stick to it and talk about the Batmen in this section. So you have Ben Affleck, you have Michael Keaton, and you have, surprise, George Clooney popping up at the end. All three as a version of Bruce Wayne. I'm gonna keep it 100. Be all the way real. Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman of all. I lived through all of them. I've seen every Batman's iteration. I even remember Adam West as a kid growing up at my grandma's house, seeing Batman and Robin, that old show. And it's like, Ben Affleck is my favorite. I feel like we get a great performance from him all the time. And he's the Batman I wish we had more time to spend time with. And even more so, based on the little snippet of time that you spend with him in this movie, it just made me think, damn, Ben plays like hurt and tragic hero. I have the weight of the world on me. He plays it so well, man. I really enjoyed seeing him as Bruce and Batman. I wish we would have got more of him. Michael Keaton's Batman was the Batman I grew up with. You know, you got him in two back-to-back, the 89 and I think the 91 Batman Returns. Stuff was cool. It was really, really good. I enjoyed Michael Keaton's performance. Clooney at the end was a whole joke. The fact that they pulled out Clooney, I was like, I know you don't want to pull out Pattinson, because if you pull out Pattinson at this point, then it causes too many questions. So I guess Clooney is a good way to like make a joke of it all. You can't pull out Val Kilmer because of his medical condition. He can't really deliver lines. Clooney was the one that I was just like, I wouldn't have did it. I would have picked somebody else. But let's get to the story. So the story, I called it heartfelt in the right places. So I would say heartfelt in the beginning and heartfelt in the end. The middle, all of the middle is full of like just stuff happening. And I'm not saying that in a negative connotation or a negative way. It just feels as though like what's really going on in relation to Barry, like in all the rules, right? So the movie tells you like, you know, time travel, you're going all over the place. Everybody has their own time travel rules. They even say in the movie, like you probably watched the movie where they showed you this, and it was very reminiscent of like the Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, and like that explanation of time, and then a branch and all that. And it's like, nah, throw all that out. It's this. And they give you their version of it. And it's cool. It's fine. But the rules. Barry cannot save his mom. I guess it's an important part. We know this from watching the Flashpoint comics, reading those, watching the animated films. You know the rules. Barry can't save his mom, but moving an entire can of tomatoes to have his dad look up in the footage is like that's okay. That brings you back to the exact same Earth with just a few tweaks. That's crazy. That's wild. That one can in a basket saves your mom and ends the world. But a whole row of cans, one shelf up, it's like, it's fine. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's really, really weird to me. I think I said in a non-spoiler that the movie makes sense in some parts. And the place where it made the most sense was with Kara Zor-El. Like, when we see Superman, Kal-El, he crashes on Earth. He doesn't know anything. He's raised by American, wholesome people that love him unconditionally and train him and blah blah blah, yeah. And he's like, I'm American and I'm not a bad person. I'm gonna do what's right. I'm gonna save people. I'm gonna be sacrificial like my Earth dad taught me to be. Blah blah blah. With Kara, you don't have that. You have a fully formed Kryptonian who has her own Kryptonian mindset. So it made the most sense in all of comic books that she would wake up out of that, help the people who saved her, and then ask questions like, why should I help y'all? Perfect. I like that so much that she did that. She didn't just say, oh, y'all seem like good guys, I'm gonna help y'all. Good guys, great. No, she actually said, let me question this. Let me ask why. Because the first humans I met put me in a cage. Awesome lines, good stuff. The fact that she was turned back to the good side so easily, I guess. But that was very smart to put in there. But talking about the Kryptonians, though, staying on that through line, if you follow continuity, we are comic book fans. If you watch The Flash, you're obviously a comic book fan, and you might have caught this. Man of Steel, great movie. I really enjoyed it. People slander it all the time. I don't understand, but it was really smart. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Zod found Kal-El because Kal-El put in the little necklace thing into the Kryptonian ship that the humans had found and were excavating, right? And that activated something, and then Zod and the crew came. There's nothing like that here. They show up because reasons. I don't like that. Supergirl in the movie says like, oh, they must have tracked the beacon on my ship. Like, we don't even see your ship here. And how long have you been here? We don't even know. What's going on? Like, what's really, really going on as to why Zod shows up? And I think Michael Shannon said it best in the interview that he gave right before this movie came out. It was publicized. If I can find it, I'll put it in here. But he says it's like the motivation of Zod is not nearly the same. He's just there because he knows one of the Kryptonian ships went there, and he's not really motivated to restore Krypton. He's more just like an obstacle for Barry. That's how I had to play it this time, not with all that grandiose speeches and just the vibe that he had in Man of Steel. He was mentally, in his mind, he was justified for doing everything he was doing in that movie. Here, I'm just a bad guy. I'm just a bad guy who shows up and Barry has to deal with it. Done. And surprise, I like this about the movie, story-wise, they didn't deal with him. Like, he won. He kept winning, and they kept going back and trying to fix it, and that is what in turn actually creates the real villain, which I thought was cool. At the same time, very expected. Like, I knew when I saw the younger Barry show up, you can check my old trailer reactions. I saw the younger Barry show up with yellow headphones, and I was like, oh, yellow accents. You're gonna be the Reverse Flash or the villain of this film. So, not bad. Just also not the most logical way to get to where we get to. I thought it was cool to see him actually become the evil version. So you get the I'm going evil version, and then you get the full evil version, right in front of each other. I thought that stuff was pretty cool as well. Pace-wise, I thought the movie was really good. Pace-wise, it really didn't slow down. Again, Michael Keaton gives you the most exposition here when he explains multiverse the way he understands it to be, which is cool because Batman has always portrayed Bruce Wayne, the smart one. It's cool. There's no Cyborg, which is, it's cool. He's the star quarterback, and it's like the team is good. That's crazy. There's no Diana. There's no Arthur Curry. I like the Arthur Curry cameo that they actually got Arthur Curry's dad from the line of movies and, this Boba Fett film. Like, that guy, he's back and he's in it, and it's cool. But I think moments like that elevate this movie for comic book fans or for people in general, because that's going to lead me right into the marketing talk of it all. I thought going into this that because of Ezra Miller and all the legal trouble that comes along with Ezra Miller, you get a different attitude coming out of Hollywood. Normally, when the star of any production gets legal trouble where it's like, ugh, take your hands off this person. You could see this stuff happen when an actor gets some legal trouble. It's like, oh, he's doing what? He's abusive, he's this, he's that. Like, take your hands off him. Like, we're not gonna promote this project. We're not gonna speak well over this project. We're gonna just pull back all the way. You didn't see that with Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller was choking women. Ezra Miller was in somebody's house, threatening them. Ezra was accused of like taking a child, or at least a young woman, away from her family and supposedly grooming this young woman for years in advance. All that stuff was going on while this movie was in post-production and trying to be marketed. So my morbid curiosity led me to think, yo, how are they going to market this movie? Because they can't put Ezra Miller in front of anybody's camera before this movie comes out. They're going to have to take Ezra Miller and put him in a bucket or a box somewhere and like tie it tight. Make sure this person doesn't get out. Then they roll him out for the premiere. And when that happens, you get this largely negative reaction. I didn't see one positive comment in relation to Ezra Miller being on the red carpet for the premiere of The Flash. Everything that I saw was people talking very badly about that individual. And that was what I expected. And I thought to myself, it's probably not going to affect box office, because the critics that I've been paying attention to have all said glowing things about this movie, even in the face of all these allegations. And it's very, very weird to me, especially after seeing the movie. And the movie really isn't all that great. Like, it's good, it's fun, and that's what you expect from a comic book movie, good fun. But people were talking so very glowingly about the film. Like, I remember the story came out that Tom Cruise got to see an early screening and he called the director, Andy Muschietti, and he was on the phone raving about the movie for the next 15 minutes. This movie is not worth raving about for 15 minutes. Now, of course, I'm doing a video. I'm currently at like 20 minutes right now, and I'm gonna cut it up and it's gonna come down to be shorter, but I'm not raving about it being great. I'm talking about all the little nitpicks and all the things that I liked and disliked. I'm sure Tom didn't do that. Like, they made it seem as though he gave nothing but glowing compliments for 15 minutes straight, which I don't feel like this movie is worthy of. And you heard that over and over from different people that are in Hollywood, different executives and just different audiences. They saw the movie and they loved it. Every critic that I pay attention to, that I've studied over the years, have given nothing but glowing reviews. The one person that I pay attention to that seemingly kept it real was my guy E-Man over there at E-Man's Movie Reviews. Like, he was the first person that I saw was like, it was good. It's a good fun movie. It's a DC movie. I was like, wow. So maybe it's just a normal film and not this glowing thing that you saw from people's early social media reactions that hit the web like weeks ago because they were so confident in people talking well about it. I'm a conspiracy theorist and it makes me think. Let me know what you think about the marketing, what you thought about the cameos, what you thought about the CG, what you thought about The Flash. I'd love to know, what were your thoughts on the movie? Did you enjoy it? Do you think it was overhyped? Was it even as good as any of the stuff that we've gotten this year from the other comic book properties? Again, it's definitely not better than Across the Spider-Verse for me. It's definitely not better than Guardians for me. It's on the same level as, maybe a little bit better than Ant-Man to me, because Ant-Man just didn't have the wow factor that this had. This had a lot of wow moments, a lot of funny moments. In Ant-Man, they're always swinging for comedy, and it just didn't all land as well as this one did. So that's just where I stand, but I'd love to know where you stand. So please let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't so far. Come back and check out more content. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something.